asking to wear LT's number?
Of course I do. Abdul Carter, I'm quite sure, is going to be sensational on the NFL level because we've seen his game in college. We respect him. But he's starting off his NFL career as maybe the most ignorant draft pick in history. This is Lawrence Taylor, my brother, that we're talking about. We have seen the great ones throughout the years. Ray Lewis comes to my mind along with various others. No one has been compared to Lawrence Taylor. When we say Micah Parsons, we say Lawrence Taylor-like. He showcases some attributes, Dom, Mike T. He showcases some attributes that remind you of. Bill Belichick is an 8-time champion, a 6-time champion as head coach. There are very few things in life that have irritated him more than the notion that somebody would mention themselves or somebody else in the same breath as Lawrence Taylor, somebody he was a defensive coordinator for when they won the Super Bowl championships. This is Lawrence. This is LT. This is LT we're talking about here. Without question, in some people's mind, the greatest defensive player to have ever lived, a Hall of Famer, a 3-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year, 2-time Super Bowl champion, a league MVP, okay, named All-Pro in each of his first 10 seasons in the National Football League, 7 straight double-digit sack seasons, 132 and a half sacks in his career, and that's after it became official, okay, in 1982. This is LT. And before you play an NFL game, Dom, before you take an NFL snap, you're asking to wear that number? That is shameful. Shameful.
I think.
Go ahead.
So I think the person who I think should be ashamed is Lawrence Taylor. Let the man wear the number. So I don't think that it's disrespect.
What?
I think it's homage. I think it's homage to how great he is as a player. To be clear, Abdul Carter came from Penn State where there is some respect for the number 11. That's a thing that you do. The same thing with number 7 at LSU. The same thing with 88 in Dallas, where it's Pearson to Bryant to CeeDee Lamb now, and of course Michael Irvin. I don't think he's not asking for Lawrence Taylor's number because he wore 56 in college. He didn't. He wore 11. He's not asking for it because he's not aware of who Lawrence Taylor is. He's asking for it because he wants to carry on the legacy.
LT's not mad. He took it,
but he rejected it.
He took it the way you said he should take it. I'm talking about us, Dom. I'm talking about you, me, Mike T, and others. We're like, wait, of course you don't do that.
Carry on the legacy. No, leave the legacy and create your own legacy, Neek.
Yeah, and Neek, I really don't mean to pile on, but I just think to bring it generationally closer here, this guy's Michael Jordan. Ironically, they went to the same school, but this guy was Michael Jordan before Michael Jordan. And if I'm Abdul Carter, I want to go create my own legacy, my own number, much the way 56 was a nondescript number before Lawrence Taylor became a Giant. It just would be like if a linebacker, if Jihad Campbell got drafted by the Ravens and he showed up and said, hey, guess what? I'm going to be number 52. There's no way another person will ever wear 52 for the Ravens. And I just think the way Lawrence Taylor, the way Stephen A. laid out, this guy a generation ago was Michael Jordan. And I just don't think you walk into that building, into this marketplace and say, hey, I want to wear that number.
I get the point that you guys are making, but I think there's another way to look at it. I brought up Drew Pearson earlier. We're reminded of Drew Pearson and Michael Irvin because 88 is special in Dallas, and Des Bryant because 88 is special in Dallas. I don't think it's a bad idea to do that elsewhere. I don't think that that anyone should feel like it's meant as disrespect. I would understand if he showed up and was like, who's 56? Give me that. That's not what he's saying. He's saying this number matters to this city. I want to have this much, or not even to this city, to this league. I want to have this impact. It's fine if they don't let him do it, but I don't think it's coming from a place of disrespect. And you're right. Lawrence Taylor revolutionized the position. These guys wouldn't be playing the way that they are if it wasn't for him. He changed the game. He is probably the best defensive player in the history of the league. I get that. So it's fine. It's retired. I'm just saying we got to pile on like he's ignorant. He's not ignorant. He knows. He's showing his respect, right? I think.
He's showing his respect. The man's number is retired. He's universally recognized as one of, if not the greatest defensive player to have ever lived. He earned having his number retired to never be worn by anybody again. And you roll up on him before you played a snap and said, yo, man, I'd like to wear your number. Really? Really? Really?
He's free to say no, but it's respect. I don't have a problem with it personally. No, you can't do anything about Lawrence Taylor's legacy.
I'm not saying
what you do with the number. We're never going to forget how great he is.
Nick, go back to painting class.
I'm not saying
lost this one.
Yeah, and I want to be clear. I'm not accusing Abdul Carter of disrespecting Lawrence Taylor.
Just a little.
No, it just feels a little like the audacity. You just got to New York, know your history.
You haven't done anything on the NFL level yet, and you want to wear the number of the greatest defensive player to have ever lived, who's playing for the franchise you're about to play for.
Right.
Come on, man.
Know your audience.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, Dom.
Yeah, it's just don't get nervous, El Presidente. Stand by your position. You said he was disrespectful.
I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous. I'm being clear.
You want to back off of it.
I'm being clear.
I actually approve of his message
That's
today.
right.
All right, let's.
Where one big story remains unresolved after the draft, and that, of course, is the future of Aaron Rodgers. The Steelers' quarterback depth chart includes Mason Rudolph, Skylar Thompson, and sixth-round pick Will Howard. The Steelers remain interested in signing the 41-year-old quarterback. So, Peter Schrager, I have had people suggesting to me that the Steelers must know something. They must have some agreement with Rodgers that he's coming, even though that has not been made public. Is that true?
I do not believe that's the case. I don't believe they have an agreement in place. I believe if they had that in place, that would get out and that would be known. What I do think is the selection of a quarterback with the 21st overall pick would have potentially derailed the plan to get Rodgers. I don't think Aaron Rodgers was looking to go there and mentor a young quarterback. I think he's looking to go there to be the quarterback. Truth of the matter is, both the Giants and the Steelers were told straight up by Rodgers, I need time. The Giants, they said, we don't have time. They pivoted. They made their moves. Steelers said, we'll wait for you, and that's where they're at right now.
Tim Hasselbeck, you said an interesting thing to me before the show and then on the air as well. He's 40 years old. He's out there throwing routes to DK Metcalf at UCLA. What does that tell you?
It tells me that he's still planning on playing. Like, you don't do this at 40 years old if you're done with football. Like, you get on an elliptical machine and you do the, the executive
spin
workout.
class.
Like, it's totally different. Like, you don't put cleats on when you're done playing. Neek, how many times you run with cleats on since you retired? Probably zero. Like,
Never.
You don't do it. Yeah, like you don't do it. And so, like, I think it's a signal that he wants to play. Like, I think it's more than a signal. I think it's a really strong signal. And I would just say this, like, and I agree with Peter, and I'm not reporting anything. But, like, I do think when Rodgers goes and visits the Steelers and he says, look, I'm leaning towards playing. I need some time, but I'm leaning towards playing. Well, I'm not going to come to you guys if you end up drafting a quarterback in the first or second round. Like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not up for that. But if you don't and you need a starting quarterback, yeah, like, I could do that. Like to me, I think a conversation like that had to have taken place for the Steelers to be sitting here after the draft, going into the season with Mason Rudolph and then a sixth-round pick as their backup. Like, I don't think they would do that without some type of, confidence that Rodgers would play for them.
Dominique.
Yeah, I think that Aaron Rodgers is obviously an incredibly talented quarterback, and he is likely to come back and play given what we just heard from Tim. However, they were 10-7 last year and lost in the first round of the playoffs. I'm not sure that Aaron Rodgers is going to make them much better or take them much further. So while I understand waiting for Aaron Rodgers makes sense given their quarterback situation, they still need a long-term answer, and I surely respect the way that the Steelers kind of treat every position and every player the same. They're very old school in that nature, but it's going to cost them at some point, or not at some point. It's kind of cost them up until this point, all the way back to when they traded for Minka rather than hold on to that pick and try to draft somebody to replace him. They're still in this situation where Mike Tomlin and that team overachieves, but no one has realistic Super Bowl expectations for them.
Quick final word.
Quick final word is that, Justin Fields was there to be re-signed. He had shown signs. They opted not to. Russell Wilson and the Steelers, that did not go well towards the end. I'm told that was never a possibility. Now they're in this situation, but they kind of put themselves in this corner.
So I think if there's one thing we've learned from this, if you see Aaron Rodgers at a soul cycle, it's over. So
Hôm nay mình sẽ hướng dẫn các bạn cách làm một chiếc vòng đeo tay đơn giản từ len nhé. Nguyên liệu của mình đây, đó chính là len này. Mình sử dụng 3 màu sắc như thế này để làm nhé. Màu vàng, màu xanh lá cây và màu tím nha, sẽ kết hợp lại với nhau. Mình sẽ sử dụng kim móc len để làm kéo này. Bây giờ sẽ bắt tay vào làm nhé. Mình sẽ sử dụng cái phần len màu vàng trước. Đây, mình sẽ gỡ len ra để dùng. Giờ sẽ đo nó nhé. Mình làm vòng cho ai thì đo với cổ tay người đó. Để đo vào đây. Được một cái mảnh như thế này. Đây mình chập vào nhé. Và giờ sẽ móc một cái nút thắt ở đây. Mình móc một nút thắt vào. Đây. Bây giờ sẽ móc hết cái đoạn dây đã đo này bằng cái mũi bình kết nha mọi người.